takes up too much space over there. Three over there, right?
Okay. Good evening. Before we start, I'd like to make sure everyone is signed in for this meeting at the back entrance of the room. If you've not, please do so because it must be on the record. I'm Robert Tanner. The other board members are Scott Calhoun and John DePlacido. I'd like to introduce the following members. We have Matthew Puz, Zoning and Development Officer, Julie Maggio, Assistant Zoning and Development Officer, Jeremy Toman, Board Solicitor, and Tamara Doxey, Court Reporter. After the presentation by the appellant, the board will hear from those in question of the appeal, those in favor, and those opposed. Any documents or evidence that's presented tonight must be kept for a period of 60 days for our records. And after all presentations are made to the board, we'll recess. We'll then reconvene and make our decisions. The board has 45 days to render a decision, but they're usually made this evening. If you do not care to wait for the decision, you may call the zoning office in the morning after 8:30 in the morning. Now I ask that everyone please stand to be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please answer, I do.
I do.
All right, we have two appeals on the agenda for this evening. First one is appeal number 23-17, Lexington Heights LLC for property located at 5149 Henderson Road, seeking a variance for the expansion of a non-conforming mobile home park to add additional mobile homes in an R3 moderate density residential district. Do you have anyone presenting? Okay. Okay, please come up, state your name and address. And one thing would be important, just one person at a time speaking.
Okay.
You can come up if you want, but just whoever's going to speak, just one at a time so it can be recorded.
Ashley Lord.
Your address?
Yeah, it's my home address, or the. It's
Your
27
home or
no,
office?
2716 Atlantic Ave.
Okay.
Okay. Do we need, so our variance
You
current,
can just pull the microphone up a little bit so we can hear you a little
Sorry.
better.
so we're showing
Thank
right
you.
now, we have 147 spaces. They're all currently occupied except for 12 of them. All the lots in the mobile home park are all set to have homes on them. We're not adding any additional lots. They're all in the mobile home park to begin with.
Okay, and so these are the ones that are highlighted in the purplish
Correct.
color here.
Yes,
So were there originally mobile homes on these sites?
there were, yes.
And when were those removed? I'm sorry, I have to have you come up
Yeah.
and speak so we can get it for the court reporter.
My name is Nicole Spalding. My address is 6 SPAULDING. And my address is 1676 Pine Grove Way, Erie, PA 16509.
Go ahead.
Okay, we closed on the park June 30th of this year. We don't have the records of when the homes were removed, nor were we provided with those. But since they'd gone vacant for so long, we are now only approved to have 133 homes on the site. Like Ashley said, there are 143 lots with the sewer and water, and whatnot. We just would like to fill those lots with new homes.
So your existing quantity is 123?
133 is what we were told that the park was approved for, what the current license shows. But
Okay.
since the lots have been vacant for so long, the original 143 is no longer approved, and that's what we're asking for.
Okay. Matt, do you have a record of when they were removed?
I do not, no.
Okay, thank you.
So is this just a zoning change since the original to now?
So this would be an expansion of a non-conforming use. The current zoning R3 does not permit mobile home parks. And and I do believe that I used aerial pictometry to kind of determine the length of time, just make sure it was abandoned. But since it's been over a year, the vacant lots would require a variance because you'd be expanding back up to the number that's not permitted anymore.
So right now, it's permitted for 133.
Yes, that is correct. Now that I think about it, code enforcement is the one that, our code enforcement office issues the certificates for the mobile home park, the licensing, and they noted that from last year to this year, there was 10 vacant lots. So that's where that number comes from, the 10 lots. So it's been over a year based on code enforcement's inspections.
And this
What's the
i-
purpose of going from 143 to 133? I'm missing that detail.
The current use as a mobile home park is not a permitted use in the R3 district, which makes it a non-conforming use. You cannot expand a non-conforming use except up to 25%, but that usually applies to the mobile homes themselves. In this case, since the homes have been, the lots have been vacant for more than a year, per the ordinance, it's abandoned. So you can't just reestablish a non-conforming use without a variance.
How does just being vacant change or alter the use?
Again, per the ordinance, the way it's written, if it's vacant or abandoned for more than 1 year, then it cannot be reestablished unless approved by the zoning hearing board.
So the whole park is non-conforming use with that zoning.
Correct.
So now that those so right now, because of all this and that, it's only allowed 133 units on it.
Correct.
People have moved out. Originally it was 143?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so 10 are out more than a year, so now it's 133. And because it's non-conforming, if they want 10 back, then they have to come for a variance.
Correct.
Okay.
Because the 133 are not actually permitted by the variance, but they're an existing non-conforming use is why they're allowed.
Yes, the 133 that are currently there are an existing non-conforming.
Had more been vacant, then it would have been 123 or 113. Those others would have been vacant.
That is correct.
Okay.
And just to confirm, we're not necessarily talking of expanding the footprint of the mobile community. It's just filling vacant lots.
That's correct. The pads are already there, the water, the sewer, but like he said, the lots themselves have been vacant for over a year, and that's why we're here. We just want to put nice new homes on those, and
Do you already have the new homes, or are those, like, are you waiting, I mean, obviously you're waiting for this to get
we're waiting
passed,
for
but then
this. Yeah,
The plan is within a certain period of time to get those,
that's correct.
okay. And
That's
I
correct.
guess how quickly would you be looking to do that?
To our understanding, if we were granted the variance, we have 6 months.
Right.
So our owner did have the sewer looked at to do that. So we're kind of poising ourselves to be ready to go, and hopefully have homes. They might not be sold in 6 months, but we want to have new homes in there so we don't have to come before the board again.
You'll have the structures.
Correct.
And these would be new homes? that would be
Yes.
going? Okay. And you said sold, so these homes in here are for sale?
The homes that we would be bringing in would be for sale.
Okay.
Or somebody can bring their own in and rent the lot.
We want things to be pretty. I mean, if the home was attractive, we would perhaps consider it, but at this point, the plan is to bring in new. I don't think in 6 months' time we're gonna have any used ones coming in, and I know that's not the direction we wanna go in.
Okay.
In the words of the documents here, is this expansion necessary for survival of the enterprise?
The park was purchased with the understanding that we had 143 units. It wasn't until it was closed and everything was said and done that we became aware of the difference in the license. When we looked at it, we're like, hey, what happened? I don't think it's necessary for the existence of the park, but there might be some legal ramifications pertaining to the sale, only because we were told that we could have the 143. So that would be something between us and the old owner.
Okay.
The answer is no.
No.
Are you the seller or the buyer?
We represent the owners of, the current owners of the park.
Good. Anything else, Jeremy? Okay, I think that's all we have for right now, thank you.
Okay.
Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak on this variance request? Matt, does the township have any? Okay. Moving on to appeal number 23-18. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced this, Ilyas Veselov? Okay. For property located at 3919 Colonial Avenue, seeking a dimensional variance for front yard setback for an attached accessory structure in R1 single-family residential district.
So, hi, everybody. My name is Elias Veselov, located at 3919 Colonial. So, as it's stated on here, it's actually the side of my house, not the front yard. It is, so at first, I wanted to get a,
If I could just
Yeah,
stop for
sorry,
1
yeah.
second. Matt, could you clarify that?
Yes, the structure in question is located along Sierra Drive, so it's a double frontage. So he is correct, the house faces Colonial, but it's on the side of Sierra Drive. So it infringes into that front yard setback.
So your property technically has two front yards, because you abut two roads.
no, it's actually towards the rear of my house. It's actually at the very end towards, till my garage, and then it's my garage front yard.
Okay, well, we can go over the nomenclature of that, but it is technically, you have frontage on two roads, is the reason why.
His
That's
house
just,
does, not the garage.
yeah, it's like completely side of my house, nowhere near the front.
Because your property abuts two streets,
Mhm.
Sierra Drive that goes down, I know it's a semi-private, I don't know if it's considered private, but
Yeah,
it's limited use, let's call it, okay, for lack of a better term. That is a roadway, so you do have frontage on two roadways. The structure's in your, what you're considering the side or garage side, but that is frontage on Sierra Drive.
Right, yeah, that road is maintained by me and my neighbor, year-round, plowing, gravel, whatever you want to consider into
Mhm.
maintaining a road. It's just, maintained by just me and my neighbor, so.
Okay, go ahead, I just wanted to make sure you were saying the
So,
correct thing.
first I wanted to get a garage built there. It was a 3-door garage, same area that would have been in now. But just because of square footage for the, what is it called, the water management system, just because the square was a little off, I couldn't do that. So we proceeded to do a carport, and I asked the B&I group if I need any, permits or anything like that, and they told me if it's under 1,000 square feet, then I should be good to go. And that's when I proceeded to have the carport put in.
So when you're saying you asked the group, you're talking about building inspection underwriters, the code and
Correct, yeah, and I have it in
the
email.
building inspector.
Yep.
But it still requires a zoning permit.
Yeah, I wasn't aware, because when
Okay.
I emailed them, they didn't let me know that, so that I wasn't aware. But yeah, I ended up, because it was under, they told me if it's under 1,000 square feet, I don't need any permits, but I wasn't aware until they told me, so. But yeah, the carport was put in, it's on just gravel, that's what it's supposed to be on, no sides, no doors, just a roof, on the side of my house. I got it put in because there's a lot of damage just being done on my cars. I have 3-4 cars now. Just snow, rain, sun, just destroying my cars, so it's costing me a lot to keep and maintain them, so.
And you mentioned that you did not build an outbuilding because of the cost of stormwater?
No, I needed to be extended in order for me to be able to put the garage in. And I mean, just the estimate itself was $11,000 just for that. So, I mean, the garage itself would have cost me 20. So it didn't make sense for me to do that. And I decided to go with the carport.
Okay.
Did you come here for the application for the garage?
For what, I'm sorry?
For the garage, when you?
Yeah, we talked a lot with himself, Matt, and, it just wasn't, after I did just got some estimates from different people and see where my pricing would be at, it just didn't make sense for me to put the garage in. It costs a lot more than.
Did you talk about zoning?
Yeah, it just wouldn't work out, so I decided to go with the carport, and that's when I asked if I could do that, and if I needed any permits, and they said I should be good to go, so I proceeded to do that, and then later found out that I still need some sort of permit for it.
So you're requesting a variance, and, one of the key things for a variance is we go down through the list here, but, what we're looking for is a hardship, and what you're stating is a financial hardship is the reason why it's not a
Yeah,
topographical or that sort of thing, which, that's what we're asking about. So this structure does not touch the home, it's,
yeah, there's a separation, 2 feet, maybe 2-3 feet. But it's right next to my driveway, so it doesn't look like it's separate from it,
yeah.
But
So the setback should be 20 feet from the,
I want to apologize. The plan that was approved for the house shows a 20-foot setback, which was under the old ordinance. The current ordinance would be 15 feet, so it should be a 15-foot setback, since Sierra Drive is not a collector or arterial road. So the setback should be 15, not 20, and I apologize for that.
so if
And
it was
it's-
15 foot further toward the house, it would be okay.
Correct, yes, it would need to be 15 feet off of Sierra Drive.
Farther away from the road toward the house.
Correct.
It's sitting right on Sierra, and it needs to be 15 away, even though Sierra is or isn't a acknowledged roadway?
No. The collector and arterial is a classification for a street. 26th Street is an arterial because it basically runs through the township. Colonial would be a collector because you take Colonial down to the arterial. The other side streets would just be like a township road. That's probably what the designation is.
But just for clarity, it's currently a 0-foot setback.
Correct, and it may actually be infringing on 2 Sierra Drive if it's 2 feet off of the house, which the plan that was approved for the house shows it at the 20-foot setback.
And then furthermore, even if it were a side yard setback, a side yard is
7 foot.
So
It would still infringe.
even if it were a side yard setback, it still infringes by 7 feet.
So it is not, it's at least 10 feet away from the road, from the Sierra Road, from the gravel road that it's
Talking
on.
property lines, though?
Yeah, within the property lines, it's
Well,
still,
I
it's
have-
not, it's
I
not
have
on
your
the.
plot plan here, if you want to
Yeah.
come up here for a second and see.
Going-
Come up here, yeah. So where the gravel is a relative term because that's just where it happens to be. The property line runs right here.
This is the front of the house.
This is Colonial Drive, this is Sierra Drive here.
Okay, so the, my property lines, this is actually not like where, it's drawn like really incorrectly because Sierra Drive would be here, so I'm still much further than the actual road.
According to this that you submitted for your zoning permit, the home is, and Matt, can you read that for me, what that is? It's 20 feet off of the property line? Property line is here.
Yeah, all I'm saying is it's not right on the road, it's like at least 10 feet back from the road.
I understand, you're considering this the roadway, but the property line is here.
And the right-of-way is 50 feet.
I'm sorry?
The right-of-way is about half of that, 25 feet toward your
That's
side,
correct.
so.
So what you're, from this plot plan that we're looking from when the home was constructed, I'm assuming it was,
Mm,
20-foot setback from property line to the home,
Correct.
from the edge of where the actual property line of Sierra Drive is, not the center line of road or anything like that, but the setback.
Correct. That is the property line, yes.
In this structure, for the type of structure it is, detached structure, the required setback is,
Since this is, per the ordinance, any structure within 10 feet is considered attached, so it has to meet the more stringent setbacks for an attached structure.
okay.
Yeah, if it was at least 10 feet from the house or 5 feet from a deck, then it could meet the less restrictive 2-foot side and rear, but still have to meet the front yard setback.
Okay.
So when you talk you're talking from the right-of-way of the road.
Correct, yeah, where the property line is, so yeah, it'd be,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess you could look at it as both either the right-of-way line or the property line.
which is same thing,
Yes, for a front yard, correct.
yeah.
So originally, you came looking for a garage.
Yes.
And you worked with the township, determined that it was not feasible.
Mm-mm.
Was there still communication between you and the township on
Yeah.
this detached, or this pole barn, whatever?
On
Where's
this-
where'd the breakdown of communication to where you already built this,
So,
apparently out of ordinance?
So what really happened was after I got the information for the garage and that I couldn't put it in, I was notified wrongly that I would still need to extend my water management system, which is not true. After asking the BNI group, you're not, if it's within less than 1,000 square feet, I should be good to go. But they told me that I would still need to extend my water management system, which is not true within the rules.
Okay, and then again, when did you
So
get communicated to you that building this as you did would be okay?
I contacted the BNI group before I did anything, and I have it in email, and they told me I should be good to go if it's less than 1,000 square feet. And it has no doors, no sides, just a roof and some poles.
Who's he talking about? B&I Group, BIU?
I do believe
Or,
it's
sorry,
BIU.
BIU, yeah, that's
Okay.
what I meant to say.
But you talked to Mill Creek for
Yes.
your garage,
Absolutely, yes,
and zoning was brought up.
yes.
I guess,
So would,
when you thought you were gonna build this, did you come and talk to anybody about it?
Right, yeah, I did, yes.
About this
Yeah,
structure
but-
we're talking about now?
Yep, so beside the garage, I came to them with the carport as well, but they also told me that I would need to extend my water management system for the carport as well, but that is not true, because when I asked in email, they told me I should be good to go if it's
Email
less.
to who, sir?
BIU?
PIU,
Okay.
yes,
That's,
What-
you're saying water management, is that stormwater?
yes.
Yes, that would be the stormwater management. And even if because there's already a stormwater system in place, even if he would add anything else, it would require an additional stormwater management review, regardless if it's an attached or detached structure.
So that alone does not, I guess, prevent him from building another garage. It would just be an extra layer of complexity and additional cost.
Correct.
So I guess just to confirm, the garage, I guess your idea to put in a new garage, that would have been feasible and you could have done it on your property, but it just would have cost more because you'd have to go through the
Yep,
stormwater.
exactly, yes.
And it is correct that you can build this sort of structure if this were in the rear of the, more than 10 feet away from the home and more than 2 feet off the property line, but currently, to your point, currently this is in the road.
Correct. At least
Because
it appears to
says it's
be.
2 feet away from the well, hold on, listen to
Yeah.
me.
I was just
No,
thinking to myself, sorry.
Yeah, just hear me out.
Yeah.
You're stating it's 20 feet deep from the house?
So from the road that's being,
Not the gravel that's there, I'm talking about property line, legally,
Oh,
property lines.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I'm
you
saying is the structure sticks away from the home by 20 feet?
Yeah,
And it's 2 feet away from the house?
yeah.
So on the recorded plan that you turned in, you're stating the house is 20 feet from the property line on that side,
So
which
from,
means the carport would be 2 foot over the property line into the roadway. Not the gravel that's there.
okay, I'm sorry, are you talking about like the front of the house, the actual front, or like the road there?
Talking the carport itself is 2 feet over top of your property line.
Yeah, it's not. You guys could come do your measurements as well. I mean, you could come take a look at it. It's pretty just obvious, as in that it's not on the road or it's not even.
Don't confuse the road with your property line.
Right,
I understand, 'cause
right,
The road
yeah.
is kind of narrow and gravel.
yeah, no, I
could
get
drive
it.
by it. So
Mhm.
it's kind of narrow.
Yeah,
a-
everything's
a
within the-
gravelly sort of path. I
Mhm.
get that.
Mhm.
But when we talk property lines, so currently your structure is on property, regardless of setbacks, your structure is on property that you don't own.
No, I do. It is within my property lines, is what I'm saying. Everything's within my property lines.
That's not what your plot plan from.
I'm sorry, it's
from
just a
there.
tiny drawing, so it's like I'm not sure like how I would do measurements on there, but it's not like it's everything's within my property line. There's nothing on the road. There's nothing near the road.
Can you clarify, Matt? BIU, are they speaking on behalf of the township?
Only for the building code. So there must have been some sort of breakdown. They should have told them to contact us.
Okay. And have we, being you, been out there since? Is the carport on his property or the road?
I'm not a surveyor, so I can't make that determination. But just from the drawing that's submitted, and if it's 2 feet from the house, just the math would indicate that it's,
2 feet over.
yeah.
And just to confirm, the size of the carport is 20 feet deep and 30 feet wide, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And 2 feet away from the
Yeah,
house.
there was extra
it
space left
22.
when the house was being built from the road. It's not just 20 feet. That's why we have so much space till the road, so the carport doesn't even touch the road. It's at least 10 feet away from the Sierra gravel road.
And that's where I say you can't kind of confuse the roadway surface with the legal edge of the road.
Yeah, it's not even a maintained road by Mill Creek. They told us that they don't own it, so we had to take care of it ourselves. So it's just me and my neighbor doing the gravel and the plowing
Okay.
and whatever, so.
Just trying to establish the parameters
Yeah,
of
no
exactly
problem.
where it sits. I wanted to be on the
Thank
same
you.
page there.
Is it possible to reduce the size of that carport?
It's just the way it's built, I don't think so, because it's literally 2 long sheets on each side, so it's like this, and then it's connected by 1 long skinny one at the top. That's
So
all.
it's all or nothing?
Yeah.
But this could be built in compliance on, the same carport could be built in compliance on the property.
Yes, just not in its current position.
Further to the east and to the south.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it were 10 feet away from the home or 5 feet away from a deck, it would only have to be 2 feet away from the property line.
and 15 from the front property line on Sierra. Sierra Drive, excuse me.
Okay, so it'd have to sit more behind the home. Everything else?
Just looking at this, the survey, I mean, it doesn't look like, I mean, it looks like it's pretty flat area, your yard, is that correct?
Yeah, if you, there's a picture there as well that I provided. If you look at the picture, you could see where the road begins. That's where, my driveway would end, and you could see where the carport ends, which is way before the road.
And the need, because you also have a garage, so I guess that's also storing vehicles, and this is just.
Yeah, that one only, yeah, the garage that I have only does one vehicle,
Okay.
so I have like 3 that are just sitting outside.
May I interject real quick?
What's that?
May I interject real quick? If it
Yes.
would be all right with the board, I'm gonna go pull the original permit. Looking at the plot plan, the line that he drew goes right through the front yard setback, so it looks like it's 20-something, 20-point-something. I just want to make sure that it could be like 20 or 21. I just don't know what the setback is. It does look like there is a little gap between that setback. So
Okay.
if that would be okay with you.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
He's gonna grab the original plot plan, because it's unclear on this one exactly.
Sure, it's there, just can't read it. Sir, did you you provided this?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Did you provide this?
No, that was them that gave me those,
Them?
the zoning
Oh,
group,
township.
sorry, yeah.
Okay,
But you originally provided it when you built the home.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
okay. And you drew in the carport?
yeah. I kind of did my best in
Yeah,
the
okay.
little,
Yeah,
yeah,
right. Yeah,
but yes, I did.
yeah, all right.
Do any of your neighbors have anything similar, like a carport that extends out?
I have my neighbor right
You
across.
only have a few.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the one across the Sierra Drive has a fence that's
Okay.
on the road, so I don't see a problem there.
Okay, so looking at the original, the house is currently 21.3 feet away from Sierra Drive.
Okay.
From the what, Matt?
I'm sorry?
What was that, from what?
Sierra Drive.
Sierra
Oh,
Drive.
Sierra Drive.
Yes.
Okay.
And you made a comment before, you're not sure the exact
Yeah, it's literally like this much, just a little walkway that I have so I could go to the back of my house from my, side door, but yeah, that's it.
Okay. Anything else? John?
No.
Okay, I think that's all for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone in the audience like to speak?
Good evening. Michael Agresti, 300 State Street, Suite 300, Erie 16507. Good to see everybody again. I represent Nick Montagna. He is the owner of the property across the street, Sierra Drive. And he is, I think, the only owner that actually faces on Sierra Drive. His home is located to the north, across the street. His preference would be for this location to stay where it is, rather than move into the backyard. So he would be in favor of the current location. His only request is that the stormwater management requirements be followed. We're not sure if they have been, we don't know, but it's just something we want. It's not really your purview, but he wanted me to state tonight that he's fine with the current location and would prefer that location, because if it goes back into the backyard, it's pretty much right across from his house.
Okay.
And rather have that activity closer to the applicant's house.
Okay,
Okay? Thank you.
thank you. Matt, is it correct that being an open structure on gravel, this doesn't require stormwater management?
That is not correct. Any new impervious surface would require some sort of stormwater management review. I'm not, I don't work in the engineering department,
Sure.
but it would still require some sort of review. They may have to do some. I can't speak on what would be required, but all new structures do require some sort of stormwater management review.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Come on up, sir.
My name is Donald Wozansky. I live at 4015 Colonial Avenue, next door to the house that's with the carport. I have one question here with the stormwater management. So when we built our house, there used to be that fire pond up there, and we built up to get past the pond, and it cost us $22,000 for the stormwater management. The ground there is all impermeable. The water does not soak into it. It runs off no matter what. So what's the difference between an impermeable ground and a roof that's impermeable? If it was possible for, like, if they needed a stormwater, would rain barrels be acceptable for that? Because I have a shed in the back, and I put gutters on it. I had to do some woodwork in there to get it so I could attach them. And I ran into rain barrels from my wife for water for flowers in the garden, because the ground slopes down from my house, and the pipes for the stormwater management are right behind the house there, and I'd have to be Jesus to get water to flow uphill into the stormwater management. That's kind of hard to do.
That'd be a question for the engineering department when we would go through a stormwater.
I was
review.
just wondering there, because I have no objection to them being a carport. I would have rather have had them built the garage and waiver the stormwater management for that, because like I said, the ground is, it kind of slopes away from the house. It's not really flat there. And it's clay with a little gravel mixed in. It's impermeable, so water does not soak into it.
Sure.
And the house across the Sierra, Gary lives there. I don't remember his last name, but his storm gutters dump right onto Sierra. And is there anywhere to attach it? I don't know what you would do.
Mhm.
I just had to, for just, I would have rather had him build a garage to it in the carport, but the carport is fine for me. I have no objection for anything like that, and I live right next to him.
Okay,
That's all.
thank you. Anyone else? Come on up, sir.
My name's Gary Haythorne. I live at 3917 Colonial. I am on the northeast corner of Sierra and Colonial.
Okay.
I just want to go on the record that I have no objection to the structure. It's, looks very fine, looks very sound. But I'm not a zoning person, so if there's issues there, I couldn't comment on it. I just want to say as a neighbor, I have no objection to the structure.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, we're
Bob.
going to take
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Tanner. Just real quick, I do want to state that our office received several messages, I believe 4 phone messages. They were all anonymous, no name, no number, but all 4 messages were against it. It may have actually been the same person, I'm not sure. Like I said, there was no contact information, but I did want to go on record that our office did receive about 4 phone calls regarding the matter.
Okay,
In favor or against?
Oh, against, I'm sorry. They were against.
okay. And Matt Waldinger, does the township have any comments? Okay. Okay, we're going to take a recess and discuss this, and we'll be back. Okay, let the record show that we reconvened at 7:35. On appeal number 23-17 Lexington Heights LLC, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that the board recommends that we approve the variance as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Appeal number 23-18 Ilyas Veselov, do I have a motion?
Also make a motion on behalf of the board that we recommend the denial of the variance as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of denial? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
I do.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.